There are only few companies that can reach the popularity of Sennheiser in both the enthusiast market as well as the more commercial market. And they maintain that with a pretty well balance. Why this is important? Because of this particular headphone and its targeted demographic. Introducing to you Sennheiser HD490 Pro Plus. This headphone is designed for someone who is willing to let go of the enriched representation of their music for a more honest one. It will not give you lush vocals, tame treble, and elevated bass. What it will give you is accurate tonal balance, transparency, and honest reproduction of your library. Now when the ground is set, let's begin the review. These headphones are kindly provided by the Audio Store for review. While they support me by offering products to test, I haven't paid to say anything positive or negative about this product or any product in general. If you are in the market for any gear or headphones, be sure to check their websites. There are great options. And currently this one is retails for 300 in India. So confidently it competes with something like HD600, HD650, the AUN AR5000. If we talk about the feel and comfort, if we start by how it feels in the hand, it feels a bit small compared to its bigger brothers. The plastic doesn't feel super high quality, but it is very sturdy. Only the time will tell if it can prove itself, like the 600 series. There are two kinds of ear pads included in this version. A more appealing velour ones, which is the normal one, the producer one, and they have a bit of generic sound. And the other one, which feels like a cotton, is the mixing pads, made for mixing specially, as the name suggests. I wouldn't say that the cotton pad was not good. It is plenty useful in few instances, and definitely worth a try before ordering the Pro only version. The pads are just incredible in softness and feels very good in the contact to the skin. The whole headphone is extremely comfortable to a point that I can literally wear it for 5 hours at a stretch. Although they are not too deep, so if you have a medium to large size ears, your ears will touch the inner wall of the driver enclosure. It's not a big of a issue, but something to keep in mind. And now that I mentioned the comfort, let's start with how it feels. The swivel of the cups do help a lot in the comfort. Also, the added carry case is a huge plus since it is very easy to carry for the foldable nature of the cups. There are two male mini XLR inputs on each of the ear cups, but the best thing is you have to use just one, and it is completely your choice. There is rubber gasket to cover the unused one too, so it's a pretty nice touch. These headphones are the most comfortable headphones I tried till date. The rope profile helps in the head movement too. Although it feels way too light after daily driving HD600 for almost a year due to how flexible it is. The cushion on the head is better than 600. The comfort is very well done with this one headphone. If we conclude the stuff, and it feels really light. Now if we come to the powering of this headphone, it doesn't require much. These headphones are very loud at almost 105 dB at 1 VRMS. Impedance is 130 ohms at 1 kHz. I can power it way too loud with Ashton & Kern PA10 as well as JDS Atom's Lab 2. None of them needed to be cranked up high to get a comfortable listening. Although when I tried to power it with something like Moondrop Dawn Pro, which is a dongle, they sounded good, but bass was there, the dynamics was a bit lacking, to be honest. So I would suggest that anything above 6 PRMS, 6 or 7 PRMS, and you can get the most of this headphone. And being a dynamic driver, modern amps are more than enough to juice it at 130 ohms. Now to the section that matters the most, let's discuss the things that I liked with this headphone. This headphone is excellent in imaging. Gaming on them is very enjoyable. Pinpointing elements is very accurate. There is no 3 blob effect like its elder brothers. Quite three-dimensional and sense of space is there. The pads though do have a great effect on the headphone's soundstage, so ear cup adjustment is a big factor while achieving the soundstage depth. As I already said, it's very comfortable for hours at a stretch. The build quality is pretty solid, although I am not a fan of the plastic used in them because it feels very plasticky, but only time will tell how it holds up. The accessories are really good. You get a carry case, 2 set of pad, 2 set of cables. What more do you want? It's not too power hungry and it's a big addition to the Sennheiser lineup. But not everything is good. There are things that you have to consider before buying. Enjoyment factor is not much due to its studio-centric sound. The music won't sound enriched and flavorful. That might also be your preferred sound signature, but it is what it is. But the second problem I have is it reveals unnoticed flaws in the poorly recorded music. If your artist has poor recording, you are not going to ignore flaws with these headphones. Hence, the advertised studio-centric sound signature. Let's talk about the objective impressions. If we come to the bass is very linear and got a steady raise till 60 Hz. The mixing pad got a bit of mid-bass bump at 70 Hz where it retains a very natural representation of the mids. Neutrality seeking people might prefer it since it doesn't have effect on the mid-range as much, although it is a lot improved from the 600 series of headphones. All in all, the bass is good for open back, the sub bass is not recessed, authority and rumble is there and you can feel it. It needs power for the sub bass to open up, and budget desktop amps are enough to power it. The thump is there, you won't feel that a lot of air is getting pushed out, which provides the cleanliness. The speed, transients are fast and a bit digital sounding too. If you come into the mid-range of this headphone is quite a tricky one. Although it might look like a mixer pad will give you a better mid-range tonality to enjoy the music, to me it was the other way around. Even though the velour pads were a bit more less resolving in the mid-range, I liked them. You can notice a 1 kHz bump in the mid-range with the mixing pads, which felt more correct sounding with a lot of caveat. The soundstage got a bit of lost and the enjoyment factor was not there. Generally, it's a common practice to delay ear gain to increase soundstage. So in conclusion, the lower mids of these headphones are, again, very tricky. A touch of warmth can be felt with the producer pad, aptly textured, a good amount of resolution to offer. I won't call it a Sennheiser flavored mid-range though. Zero bleed from the bass, zero dryness even though it is reference grade headphone, and for the upper mids, it's very reference grade again, not bare like a headphone treble which is sometimes beneficial for producing. Zero sibilance or hotness, airness felt a bit missing, feels open and the separation is well done. Texturing is a bit less than the lower mids, and lastly the treble. This region is the only reason why producer pad stayed on my headphone for the 90% of the time. Look, these headphones are made for studio and I said it 500 times. So to judge this headphone, we have to listen to the tracks that has been mastered well. With good recordings, this headphone sounded good, but albums with lack of refinement sounds quite poor and revealing. All in all, it is fairly detailed, spacious, well controlled space is there, separation is good, bite and the attack is average in terms of speed, but again this is a very dependent on the track and to the listener. I think Sennheiser set the bar too high with 600 and 650 so much that it is even hard for them to cross, and it doesn't have to be because it's completely different headphone altogether. Tonally this headphone doesn't surpasses these two headphones, but where it takes off is in the subjective impressions. Let's talk about the Soundstage. Now let's get to the point where you should buy this headphone, and it is the Soundstage. It is very natural feeling Soundstage. Vocals doesn't feel heady, separation is good, orchestra sounds spatially beautiful, excellent for gaming. This is all the things that I liked about its Soundstage. And if we come into the imaging part, like the capabilities that it can do with this imaging, it has a very good imaging capabilities for the price, good usage of Soundstage, localization instrument is very easy, height and the depth both are very well done. And now if we come to the resolution part of this headphone, again it's good for the price, not artificial exaggeration can be felt, although sometimes it can feel a bit rough. Layers in the music can be heard, micro detailing is not the strongest part. There is proper distribution of resolution, every frequency range to be exact. Surpasses something like 600-650 ever so slightly. So what is the targeted demographic of this headphone? This headphone is made for someone who likes to enjoy their music without any exaggeration. They are okay with having exceptional quality of mastering in their library. This headphone works extremely well for gaming and as well as for cinema. And I will be looking out for new pad options in the future. This is my review of Sennheiser HD490. If you like this review, do subscribe to my channel and give us a thumbs back so it gives me motivation in the future. Bye.